Hello guys, welcome to another new episode of Engine Building by Michael Chung series. Alright, so today I'm going to share with you guys three things. One is how to select a G4 Link ECU for your engine. The second one is I'm going to unbox a G4 Link Fury. And then the third one is I'm going to share with you guys some of the functions that you can see from the Link ECU program. Coming up. Right, so I'm going to share with you guys the most basic one for 4 cylinders is the atom. Okay, the atom has 4 fuel for ignition, 2 digital input, 3 analog input for auxiliary output. It can also control your flex fuel. That means if you are combining your normal fuel plus your E85, then you need to have a fuel sensor to sense the ethanol content. So the ECU can spray the fuel accordingly. Okay, and then Atom has one channel of CAN bus and they have the logging of 32-bit too. So that means all the ECU has all these functions. However, if you want to up another one, you can go for Monsoon. Monsoon has 4 digital input, 4 analog inputs, and then 6 auxiliary outputs. And control your VVT, launch control and anti-lag too. Launch anti-lag is you set certain conditions to the ECU, and then for example you are pressing clutch or you have a clutch sensor or you are pulling handbrake, so you ask the ECU to open up idle air valve to let more air in and to retard the timing to allow your turbo to spool up faster, because all the fuel will be ignited later and then it will continue to ignite in the exhaust manifold. So you have to be very careful when you are using this. It may burn your exhaust valve or your exhaust manifold or even your turbo. Alright, so this one is you have to do at your own risk. Alright, so if you want to go for the highest end for 4 cylinders, you can go for the Force GDI. Right, the Force GDI, you can have 8 digital inputs, 11 analog inputs, 4 temperature inputs, right? You can have 8 auxiliary outputs, and then you can have 2 channel of knock sensor, so you can have 1 in the front, 1 in the back, and you can use e-throttle too. Alright, so the previous one, the Atom and the Monsoon, you only can use the cable throttle. Alright, and then the Force GDI, it has the lambda sensor control. Alright, so what does it mean? I'm going to explain to you guys later, okay? And then the Force GDI has traction control, cruise control, and it has 2 channels of CAN bus, and it also has trigger scope. Okay, I'm going to explain to you guys trigger scope first. So trigger scope is for people who wants to see what is happening to the trigger system. That means your crank sensor, your cam sensor, whether does it match or not. Alright, so this one is especially useful for those who just started the engine or just finished assembly their engine for the first time or rebuild the engine. Then they will need to check for the trigger scope and see whether they have installed wrongly or not.
Come on, baby. Whoa, shot the fuck out.
If the trigger is all okay, then they will turn on the fuel pump or your electricity current into your ignition or your fuel. Before you start the engine, you try to go to check your trigger scope, turn off your fuel pump, and then let the starter motor to do all the work. At 200 RPM, the engine will not have any catastrophic failure, right? So that's the function of trigger scope. Okay guys, I'm going to explain to you guys what is this onboard digital wideband lambda control, where the Link Fury has, but the Extreme does not. Alright, so I've asked this question to a Link ECU expert. Okay, and then there is a reply from Scott C, who is very helpful. Alright, so he explained that the basic pros and cons between the two. Onboard lambda control means you can wire a Bosch LSU 4.9 wideband auto sensor directly to the ECU. Right? So without this onboard controller, you'll need a wideband gauge or external controller to send a 0 to 5 volt signal to the ECU for the wideband signal. Alright, so I'm going to explain to you guys Bosch LSU 4.2 and 4.9, the differences between these two oxygen sensor in the next video. Okay, this one I promise by next week. Alright, so this function is left out of the extreme for reduced cost if you don't want or you don't need the feature. Alright, the input signal to the ECU is the same, 0 to 5 volt, but a wideband sensor needs a controller to operate because you need voltages for the heating element and for pumping cell. Alright, so you can get the proper voltage output back to the ECU. You can choose an external controller like an AEM wideband gauge to control the sensor and output the signal to the ECU. Alright, so the benefit of having this, you can be sure that the signal from the sensor confirm accurate. Right, the ECU is providing the power and ground to the auto sensor. Alright, so you can say that the ECU and the sensor are always on the same planes electrically. Alright, so with an external controller or external gauge, the power and ground will be separate from ECU and the ground plane for the sensor. You see, so that may cause incorrect sensor readings or scaling. Right, so you can also get into various response times and accuracy between the two different manufacturers and various gauges and controllers. Alright, yes, although you can alter the calibration, you can calibrate the gauge to match the gauge FU ratio so that the readings matches the ECU, but still you can very hard to match the response time and accuracy of different gauges to the ECU. Okay guys, now I'm going to explain to you guys if you guys are using 6 cylinders engines and 8 cylinders engines and above. Alright, so you can go for G4 Link Storm. Right? The G4 Link Storm can give you 8 fuel outputs, 8 ignition outputs, 8 digital input, 8 analog input. You can have 2 knock channels too. Depends on your engine. If you are using a straight 6, then you may have 1 in the front, 1 at the back. If you are using V, then 1 in the bank 1, 1 in bank 2. Storm already has VVT capabilities, trigger scope, launch and anti-lag already. However, if you want to go further, you can go for extreme. Alright, so the extreme one is the same digital input, but it has 11 analog inputs. Right, it has full shifter control. That means if you are using a sequential that you have a strain gauge and you can control the transmission, and then the transmission will tell your ECU which gear it is, and so you can retard your timing during when you are shifting the gear. Okay, and then extreme has e-throttle, cruise control, traction control, closed loop lambda auto mode. Okay, so this one is this one is without the lambda sensor control. Okay, if you want the lambda sensor control, you need to go for the Link's Fury. Right, the Link's Fury has almost the same capabilities like the Extreme, but together with this lambda sensor control. So if all this cannot satisfy you, you can go for Link Thunder. Link Thunder also has 8 fuel, 8 ignition. It has 16 digital input, 20 auxiliary output, 16 analog input, 4 temperature, 2 lambda sensor. You can get one just after the turbo or after the exhaust manifold, and one is after the catalytic converter or one in bank 1, one in bank 2. Okay, so why one in before catalytic converter, one in after catalytic converter is because you want to measure the efficiency of the catalytic converter to convert all the harmful gas to become not so harmful gas. For example, like from carbon monoxide change to carbon dioxide, from NO change to N2 and O2. That means from those NOx emissions change to nitrogen and oxygen, which is vastly available in the atmosphere. You can have extra 2 more thermocouples. Okay, this one is for your EGT, exhaust gas temperature measurement and feedback to your ECU. Right? So I hope you guys learned something from this and hope you guys had a easy time to select your Link's ECU. So next I'm going to show you guys how I unbox and what you can expect from a Link's Fury. Coming up. Hello, I'm very happy to have this opportunity to open this box. This box is from Oz, my friend, and he wants to share this with you guys too. Okay, so what does this box comprises of? This one has the ECU link management wiring harness, right? This one is the external map sensor, because the Link ECU doesn't have an internal map sensor, so you need an external map sensor. More wires, and here is the box. Yeah. Alright, so it comes with this box, this cool box. Fancy way to open it. Okay, let's see. Here is the ECU. Wow, it looks very sturdy, quite solid, the feeling. Alright, and it comes with a USB cable, right? A bracket for us to install it into any flat surface, and then the ECU can just clamp in. Okay, and then a quick start guide. This one is comes with a normal booklet, so you can flip and you can see all the pinouts. And what are those? This one is for us to write down, okay, what is it the auxiliary output 1 and 2 and 3 is for. Alright, and over here it can tell you that the typical applications that you can use, and you can arrange yourself. Okay, this one I fairly like, but it is best to, when it is empty, try to photostat a few first, because we may want to interchange. Alright, and then this one comes with the stickers too, to show support to their brand, so it is quite good. Okay, so I want to share with you guys, the Link Fury is very good. Consider if we are going not for the highest end, but this one is you can say that this is the second best out there for the Link ECU. So I'm going to show you guys some of the walkthrough of the software. Alright, comes this one, I think most of the ECU software, they all can be downloaded online. They are freely available. Before you buy the ECU, before you buy this ECU, you can just go to the download page and download the software and see whether you like it or not. And I'm going to give you a walkthrough of it. Hello guys, as promised, I'm going to show you guys the software that you can get. This software download for free in linkecu.com. Alright, so I've downloaded it and I've loaded the Link Fury. So I find this program, it is quite complicated, and but it is very complete. Alright, it comes with a lot of information over here. If you don't understand anything, you can just refer to the help browser, which I've already enlarged for my own reading, because I need to understand one by one. Okay, however, I think it is not I can click everything I can get. I can try to understand one by one what are the things that it is saying. Okay, for example, like this lambda target table overlay. Alright, so this one is quite cool because I can have a gauge and input 0 to 5 volts of FU ratio directly to the ECU, or the auto sensor wideband. You can just connect directly to the ECU, like I said previously about the lambda sensor control. Alright, so with this, I can so-called auto-tune my ECU with a base map. Alright, so I can slowly try to rev a bit, 10%, 20%, 30%, or I can work my way up to 100%. Alright, so it will automatically tune towards my lambda target, for example, or FR target, for example, like I want low RPM, manifold absolute pressure map. So I just go for 14, then I'll slowly taper it down until, for example, 12. Alright, at high RPM, high pressure. Alright, I like this function. It is easy. It makes things easy for us tuners. Alright. However, I try to click this. Is used for closed loop lambda. It's quite cool. So I press this. Okay, but problem is I reach here. I don't really know how to set it here. I'm not very sure. Well, for new beginner, or you can say new tuner, or a person who is a tuner, seasoned tuner, but he is not used to this program, you have to start fiddle and play with this program if you want to be good at it. I can tell you that this one is a very big rabbit hole, so don't know whether you end up to, but it is very cool to learn so many things from here. Alright. So in Malaysia, Link ECU is very popular. There are many tuners who are really good in it already. So I myself also want to learn from this too. Okay, so in this configuration page, this is where we set our sensors input and stuff like that. Alright, so we can either press these parameters or ECU control, or option set up ECU parameters. Alright, so I can set, for example, my map. Alright, so I double click, not sure whether you can see this. I can set the display minimum and maximum, how much, and it will have a direct correlation. Alright, for example, the voltage direct correlation with your pressure. Alright, so if I press this analog input, I can go to this and volt map sensor. So there are a lot of map sensor type. You see, you can support all types of sensor. Okay, but I want to say something. But for us, we want to use another external sensor, or we can say an super accurate gauge and calibrate together with this ECU. So it is some sort of chicken and egg problem. So you don't know what to believe, your gauge or the ECU preset. So I think you have to believe one of them and try to work your way up from there. For example, you take your gauge, you believe your gauge 100% to be accurate, so you calibrate your ECU following the gauge. Alright, so this is what I want to say about the configuration. Okay, and then whenever you have prepared everything, set up everything, okay, even the fuel has a lot of model. There is a traditional or multi-fuel, which is what most of the ECU software are using, okay, because they include the injector dead time, shock pulse wave, right? There are a lot of calculation which Adaptronic Andy Watts has explained about it. I find it quite interesting because I'm very nerdy. Alright, so I've done here. So I'm going to show you guys the next thing that I like really much, which is the tuning. The tuning, whenever you press this tuning, you can just go to uh, you can set all sorts of things here during your tuning, and you can set all types of gauges, digital gauge, dial gauge, bar gauge, time plot, statistics, all sorts of things, and you can set the parameters. Then you can see all your numbers. Alright, and this is what something really good for OCD people like me, because I really like to see all these kind of numbers. Of course, I need to set everything before I display. If not, it will be too much of gibberish. But I like this kind of view. I can see immediately what is wrong, immediately what is the temperature, what is the coolant, intake air temp, TPS. Alright, so some of them I like to see in gauges, so I'll just right click and change it to digital or bar gauge or round gauge. Right, so this is what I really like. Alright, so the next thing that I really like is about the logging. Okay, some of the programs, maybe the older programs, they log, they are able to log, but they are unable to view. Right, so in this Link ECU, you can log and view at the same time in the same software. Alright, the previous one you may need to use Excel to open it or another program to open it. But the Link ECU, they are using the same program, and you can right click, you can set properties, all sorts of data which you want to see, which you don't want to see. And one more thing I really like is you can set when it starts to log. Manually, you can press a log button. Alright, play or log or record button. Okay, but there is one more thing which I like is you can set it automatically. That means you can set it above 4000 RPM or above 3000 RPM. Alright, this is what we always do during the dyno. We shift first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear at around 2000 RPM. So when we want to start, we start from 2000 RPM, then we try to maybe half throttle or full throttle, right? So during that time, then the ECU will automatically starts to log after 3000 RPM, which shows you, you can say that important data only, not the before 3000 RPM or not when you press the record button but nothing happens. You see, so this is what I really like about this, the automated starting of recording. Alright, okay, uh, then sorry, I want to say sorry because I'm not hooking up with the Link Fury, so I cannot see anything from here. Okay, so I believe here you can see the RPM versus load, the field table, or the RPM versus TPS, the field table, or the ignition table. So I believe this one is similar with all ECU. But you can set over here. You can set it as round gauge or number or bar. This one I really like. That's all for today. I hope you guys learned something from me. I hope you guys still remember the how to select Link ECU. Alright, and then the second one is what you can expect when you're unboxing the Link Fury, and third is a small preview about the Link software. Hope you guys learned something. Click the like and share if you think that it will help your friends, and please don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming videos, and hope to see you soon.